Your liver could be silently filling with fat, even if you never touch sweets. Hidden sugars are sneaking into your daily routine, affecting your energy, weight, and long-term health. In this journey, you'll discover what's behind it and what you can do to stop it. Imagine waking up every day feeling tired, even after a full night of sleep. Your energy is low, your belly feels bloated, and despite cutting back on desserts, the weight around your waist just won't go away. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of people experience these symptoms without realizing they're signs of something deeper, a silent process unfolding inside the body. And one of the biggest culprits? Hidden sugars. Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't even eat that much sugar. But here's the surprising truth. Sugar hides in places you'd never suspect. It disguises itself under names you don't recognize. It sneaks into your kitchen through products labeled as healthy or low fat. And when it enters your body quietly, day after day, it starts to overload one of your most important organs, your liver. The liver plays a central role in your health. It filters toxins, processes nutrients, and helps manage your energy. But it has a limit. When hidden sugars are consumed regularly, especially in foods typical in North American diets like salad dressings, whole grain breads, pasta sauces, and energy bars, the liver starts to convert that excess sugar into fat. Over time, that fat builds up. And when it does, we face a condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, a condition affecting an estimated 1 in 4 adults. The scary part? Most people have no idea they have it. This is where things get serious. Fatty liver disease is silent at first. You might not feel pain. You might not even notice anything beyond that stubborn belly fat or constant fatigue. But deep inside, your liver is struggling. And if nothing changes, the consequences could go far beyond low energy or weight gain. But here's the good news. The damage is often reversible. You can take control. And it starts by understanding how these hidden sugars are entering your life and how to spot them before they harm you. There's a powerful truth about food that most people never learn. It's not just what you avoid, it's what you overlook. That's why simply skipping dessert isn't enough. Because even if you never touch a cookie or cake, you could be consuming the equivalent of 15 to 20 teaspoons of sugar per day simply through everyday meals. How? Through sweetened yogurts, condiments, store-bought smoothies, and even that whole wheat sandwich you thought was a smart lunch choice. Understanding this hidden threat is the first step to protecting your liver. It's about learning to read labels differently, recognizing the many names sugar goes by. From maltodextrin to evaporated cane juice to corn syrup solids, and making small adjustments that can lead to major improvements. Because here's the thing. If we don't understand what we're putting into our bodies, we lose the power to protect them. And when it comes to your liver, a few simple habits can mean the difference between health and fatigue, between clarity and brain fog, between thriving and surviving. And just so you know, if you stay with me through this entire journey, I'll be sharing a natural and often overlooked tip at the end that can help speed up your liver's recovery process. It's simple, safe, and backed by generations of use. But most people don't even know it exists. Remember, this isn't about fear. It's about awareness. The more you understand, the better choices you can make. Because even a small amount of hidden sugar, consumed daily, can gradually shift your health in the wrong direction. But knowledge flips the switch. And your journey to reversing that starts right now. The next piece of the puzzle might be the most eye-opening of all. We'll uncover exactly where these hidden sugars are found in your everyday routine, even in foods labeled as healthy. Missing this next step won't just stall your progress, it could make things worse. Most people are surprised to learn that some of the so-called healthiest foods in their kitchen are quietly contributing to fat buildup in the liver. Not because of fat itself, but because of sugar, specifically hidden sugars. And the most dangerous part? These sugars don't always taste sweet. They don't always look like sugar. But they still trigger the same internal process. Overload the liver, spike insulin, and transform into fat that gets stored deep inside your body. Let's talk about where these sugars are hiding. It starts with the label. That small rectangle on the back of the package is often ignored or misunderstood. Even when people read it, they tend to focus only on the word sugar under carbohydrates. But what if I told you that sugar has over 50 different names? From high fructose corn syrup to barley malt, from dextrose to agave nectar, the food industry has mastered the art of sweetening your food without you realizing it. Take a typical breakfast in a North American home: a bowl of whole grain cereal with low-fat milk, a fruit yogurt, and a glass of orange juice. Sounds healthy, right? But in reality, this meal can contain up to 12 teaspoons of sugar, and the liver has to process all of it. That orange juice alone, even if it's labeled no sugar added, contains naturally high levels of fructose, which is the most lipogenic, fat-producing sugar of all. And it doesn't stop there. Granola bars marketed as natural energy boosters, bottled salad dressings, ketchup, frozen meals, even plant-based milks often come loaded with added sugars or concentrated fruit syrups. The problem isn't just what these sugars do when consumed occasionally. It's what they do when consumed daily, even in small amounts. Every time you ingest a hidden sugar, your liver gets the signal to store fat. Over time, this contributes to insulin resistance, inflammation, and excess fat, not just in the liver, but around your organs. And that means higher risk for fatigue, poor concentration, hormonal imbalances, and even more serious metabolic issues. So how can you protect yourself? The first step is label awareness. Start scanning ingredient lists, not just the nutrition facts. Look for words that end in O's, like glucose, fructose, sucrose, as well as syrup, nectar, and concentrate. A general rule of thumb: the longer the ingredient list, especially in processed foods, the higher the chance you're ingesting something your liver won't appreciate. Second, retrain your taste buds. The more you reduce hidden sugars, the more sensitive you become to natural sweetness. Fresh fruits, cinnamon, vanilla extract, and even a touch of raw honey used mindfully can help reintroduce flavor without overwhelming your liver. Third, rethink your health foods. Not everything with the label organic, low-fat, or whole grain is automatically good for your liver. The key is whole, unprocessed food prepared simply with minimal packaging and ingredients you recognize. The fewer the ingredients, the less likely you'll be tricked by sugar in disguise. This shift doesn't mean you have to give up the pleasure of eating. On the contrary, it reconnects you to real food, real energy, and real healing. And as your liver begins to clear out that excess fat, you may start noticing surprising benefits: clearer skin, deeper sleep, better digestion, and more consistent energy. Here's something even more empowering. You don't have to make these changes all at once. Start by identifying one hidden source of sugar in your daily routine. Replace it with a cleaner option. Small steps like that, taken consistently, create momentum, and your body responds far faster than you might imagine. Awareness is your most powerful tool. By knowing where hidden sugars hide, you can stop them before they sabotage your health. This is how you reclaim control. And it's just the beginning. Because next, we're going to expose exactly how these sugars damage the liver on a cellular level. And ignoring this part not only slows your progress, it can trigger serious long-term effects you definitely want to avoid. It might sound surprising, but sugar doesn't just give you a temporary energy rush. It sets off a cascade of events inside your body, especially in your liver, that can have long-lasting effects. Even more surprising? Your liver responds to sugar more dramatically than it does to dietary fat. And understanding this process is the key to reversing some of the damage that's already been done. Let's break it down. Every time you consume sugar, especially fructose, which is found in table sugar and high fructose corn syrup, it travels to your liver. Unlike glucose, which can be used by nearly every cell in your body, fructose is processed almost exclusively by the liver. This means your liver bears the full burden of breaking it down. And when that fructose arrives in high doses, like from sodas, packaged snacks, or even frequent fruit juices, your liver quickly converts it into fat through a process called de novo lipogenesis. That fat doesn't just float away. It starts accumulating inside your liver cells. Now, a little fat in the liver might not cause immediate symptoms. But over time, as this buildup increases, it triggers something called hepatic insulin resistance. This means your liver stops responding properly to insulin, a hormone critical for regulating your blood sugar. As a result, your blood sugar stays higher for longer, prompting your pancreas to release even more insulin. This vicious cycle not only promotes more fat storage, but also leads to chronic inflammation inside the liver. Inflammation is your body's natural response to injury. But when it becomes chronic, when the liver is bombarded day after day by hidden sugars, it can damage liver tissue and interfere with its ability to detoxify the body. This isn't just about sugar turning into fat. This is about sugar fundamentally changing the way your liver functions. And because the liver is responsible for over 500 essential tasks in the body, this can impact everything from your hormones to your immune system to your brain chemistry. But here's something few people talk about. This damage doesn't require a high-sugar diet to begin with. It's not about binging on sweets. It's about that steady, low-level intake of hidden sugars, every day, with every meal, that adds up over time. And the symptoms can be subtle at first. Slower metabolism, difficulty concentrating, fatigue, skin problems, trouble sleeping. Many people write these off as normal aging or stress, when in fact, they're often the early whispers of a liver under pressure. The good news? Your liver is incredibly resilient. It's one of the few organs in the body that can regenerate, but it needs your help. That starts by giving it a break from the sugars it's been trying to process around the clock. One of the most powerful things you can do is shift your focus from calories to quality. Instead of counting grams of sugar or fat, think about how processed a food is. The more whole and natural your meals, the less stress on your liver. Hydration also plays a role. Water helps flush out toxins, supports digestion, and reduces the overall workload on your liver. Incorporating more bitter greens like arugula, dandelion, and kale can also support liver detox pathways. These foods naturally stimulate bile production, which helps the liver break down fats more efficiently. Pair them with healthy fats like avocado or olive oil to enhance absorption. And most importantly, listen to your body. That afternoon crash? It might not be from too little coffee. It might be your liver asking for help. Your liver isn't just a filter. It's a command center, and every bite you take sends it a message. When you reduce hidden sugars and prioritize whole foods, you're telling your liver, I've got your back. The next step is learning how your body communicates that your liver is struggling, sometimes in subtle ways. Ignoring this can limit your results and quietly pave the way for more serious imbalances. That's why the next tip may be one of the most important of all, and overlooking it doesn't just slow your progress, it could quietly create deeper effects you won't want to ignore. By the time your liver starts sending you warning signs, it's already been working overtime for quite a while. That's the tricky part. The liver doesn't complain loudly. It's not like your stomach that growls when you're hungry or your muscles that ache after a workout. The liver is quiet. It handles stress silently, often for years, before showing symptoms. And that's exactly why so many people overlook the early signs that something's wrong. You might think liver problems only happen to people who drink too much alcohol. But here's the truth. The fastest growing cause of liver issues today has nothing to do with alcohol. It's driven by what we eat, specifically how much hidden sugar we consume day after day. And the earliest warning signs? They're not what most people expect. Let's start with fatigue. Not the kind you feel after a poor night's sleep, but the kind that lingers, even after resting. When the liver becomes sluggish, it can't filter toxins effectively. That buildup can affect every system in your body, leading to that heavy, tired feeling you just can't shake. Add in blood sugar imbalances caused by insulin resistance, and it's no wonder you feel drained. Then there's abdominal discomfort, especially around the upper right side of your abdomen, where the liver sits. It may not be sharp pain, but a feeling of fullness or pressure, particularly after eating. Some people describe it as a mild bloating that doesn't go away, even when they haven't eaten much. Changes in skin can also be early indicators. If you notice more acne, dullness, or even unusual dark spots, especially on your neck or underarms, it could be your liver signaling trouble. These symptoms are often linked to insulin resistance and systemic inflammation, both of which are connected to fatty liver. Weight gain that doesn't respond to diet and exercise is another red flag. When the liver is storing fat instead of burning it, your body's metabolism slows down. Even if you cut calories, you may find it incredibly hard to lose weight, especially around your midsection. That stubborn belly fat is often a visible sign of an internal imbalance. Let's not forget digestion. A compromised liver struggles to produce bile, which is essential for breaking down fats. If you notice nausea after meals, a feeling of fullness that comes too quickly, or irregular bowel movements, it could be related to how your liver is functioning. Even your mood and mental clarity can be affected. The liver helps manage hormone levels and clears out metabolic waste that can impact brain function. Brain fog, irritability, or difficulty focusing can all be subtle signs of a liver that's under strain. Now, none of these symptoms on their own scream liver problem. That's what makes them easy to dismiss. But when they start adding up, low energy, stubborn weight, skin changes, digestive discomfort, they form a pattern that often points back to one organ trying to do too much with too little support. The empowering part? You can change this trajectory. By removing hidden sugars, supporting your liver with nutrient-dense foods, and becoming more mindful of how your body feels, you can begin to reverse these effects. Your body is always talking to you. The question is, are you listening? The next insight is one of the most revealing yet. It uncovers the everyday habits, even the healthy ones, that may be quietly sabotaging your liver. Ignoring it could not only limit your progress, but also invite deeper imbalances that are much harder to reverse later on. Sometimes the things we do to feel healthier can actually get in our way, especially when it comes to the liver. You've seen how subtle signs like fatigue, stubborn weight, and brain fog may all be part of your body asking for support. But here's where it gets even trickier. Some of the very foods and habits you believe are helping you might be doing the opposite. Let's start with one of the most common traps: low-fat and sugar-free products. On the surface, they sound like smart choices. After all, reducing fat and sugar seems logical if you want to support your liver. But when you flip those packages around and read the ingredients, you'll find something unexpected. These products often replace fat with additives, starches, and artificial sweeteners that may spike insulin, disrupt your gut microbiome, and ironically, increase sugar cravings. Artificial sweeteners like sucralose, aspartame, and acetylsulfame potassium have been shown to alter insulin response and gut health, two things that directly affect liver function. Then there's the idea of eating frequently to keep your metabolism going. While small, frequent meals can work for certain people, grazing all day can prevent your body from ever fully shifting into fat-burning mode. The liver needs time between meals to reset, process nutrients, and perform its detoxification cycles. Constant eating, especially snacks high in carbohydrates, can create a steady stream of insulin, promoting fat storage and preventing the liver from clearing out accumulated fat. Another surprising saboteur? Overconsumption of fruit. Now, fruit is a natural, nutrient-rich food, and it definitely has a place in a healthy lifestyle. But when it's eaten in large quantities, especially blended into smoothies, juices, or added to every meal, the natural fructose it contains can overwhelm the liver just like refined sugar. Fructose from whole fruit in moderation isn't the problem. It's the frequent, concentrated hits of fructose that become an issue. Let's also talk about beverages. Many people cut soda and think they've solved the sugar problem. But flavored waters, energy drinks, kombuchas, and even seemingly innocent oat or almond milks can contain more sugar than you expect. Some have added syrups or concentrates to enhance flavor, turning a healthy habit into a hidden threat. Even certain detoxes or cleanses can backfire. Extreme juice fasts, aggressive supplement regimens, or high-fruit clean eating plans can overload the liver rather than support it. The liver doesn't need a quick fix. It needs consistency. What it responds best to is daily support through hydration, fiber, healthy fats, protein, and rest. One of the most overlooked elements in liver health is sleep. During deep sleep, your body undergoes repair, hormone regulation, and detoxification processes. Poor sleep habits, especially sleeping too little or too late, can impair liver enzyme production, raise cortisol levels, and disrupt blood sugar balance. If you're doing everything right with food, but not sleeping well, your liver may still struggle. So what can you do differently? Start with small shifts. Choose full-fat, minimally processed foods in their natural state. Instead of a sugar-free yogurt, try plain yogurt with cinnamon or a few berries. Instead of constant snacking, experiment with structured meals and longer breaks in between. Be mindful of the fruit you consume, favoring whole fruits in moderation and always paired with a source of fat or protein to slow absorption. Hydration should come from clean water, herbal teas, and unsweetened beverages. And if you're curious about supporting your liver naturally, consider adding gentle, liver-friendly herbs like dandelion or milk thistle, always with professional guidance. Most importantly, slow down. Listen to your body. Pay attention not only to what you eat, but when, how, and why. Real healing happens when we approach our bodies with consistency and respect, not extremes. And now that you know how easy it is to accidentally sabotage your liver, it's time to talk about what truly works. Because the final key isn't just about avoiding the wrong things, it's about preparing the right foods in the right way. And missing this next step won't just limit your results, it could make everything you've done so far less effective. There comes a moment when awareness turns into action. After uncovering the hidden sugars, the early warning signs, and the daily habits that quietly burden your liver, the next step is choosing the foods and preparations that allow your liver not only to recover, but to thrive. Because while avoiding the wrong choices is powerful, embracing the right ones is what accelerates healing. And it starts in your kitchen. The way food is prepared can dramatically influence how your liver responds. Even the healthiest ingredients can lose their supportive properties, or worse, become inflammatory, if they're handled the wrong way. So let's look at how to make simple, nourishing meals that promote liver regeneration without complexity or confusion. One of the best things you can do is focus on foods in their whole, unprocessed form. Leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and Brussels sprouts, beets, carrots, and herbs like cilantro and parsley all contain compounds that enhance the liver's natural detox pathways. But here's the key: how you cook them matters. Instead of frying or over-roasting vegetables in refined oils, try gently steaming, sautéing in extra virgin olive oil, or lightly roasting at low temperatures. These methods preserve nutrients and prevent the creation of harmful compounds that can burden the liver further. Overheating oils, especially vegetable and seed oils, creates oxidized fats that your liver then has to work harder to process. When it comes to protein, opt for clean, high-quality sources: wild-caught fish, pasture-raised eggs, organic legumes, and lean poultry. Avoid processed meats or overly charred grilling methods. Pairing protein with fiber-rich vegetables supports stable blood sugar and gives your liver the raw materials it needs to repair cells and produce enzymes. Fermented foods can also support your gut-liver connection. A healthy gut microbiome reduces the number of toxins that reach your liver via the bloodstream. Foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and unsweetened yogurt help maintain that balance. But again, read the labels. Many store-bought versions are packed with sugar or preservatives, which defeat the purpose. Don't underestimate herbs and spices. Turmeric, ginger, garlic, cinnamon, rosemary, and oregano all have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that support liver function. Use them not just for flavor, but as part of your daily medicine cabinet, right in your spice rack. And now, as promised from the very beginning, here's a simple yet powerful natural tip to support your liver: a warm infusion of milk, thistle, and turmeric. Milk thistle contains silymarin, a compound shown to support liver cell regeneration. Turmeric supports bile production and reduces inflammation. But here's the catch: to preserve their potency, they should not be boiled. To prepare it the right way, bring water to a boil first, then turn off the heat. Add a teaspoon of crushed milk, thistle seeds, and half a teaspoon of ground turmeric. Cover and steep for 10-15 minutes. Strain and drink warm, optionally with a splash of lemon. Done once a day, preferably in the evening, this ritual can provide gentle, consistent liver support over time. Combined with real food, movement, rest, and hydration, this approach forms a lifestyle, not a restriction. And the rewards are more than just internal. Many people report brighter skin, improved digestion, clearer thinking, and more balanced energy after just a few weeks of treating their liver with the care it deserves. Your body wants to heal. It just needs the right environment to do it. Every time you choose whole foods, cook gently, hydrate wisely, and rest deeply, you send a signal to your liver. You're no longer working alone. If this message resonated with you, consider sharing it. You never know who in your circle might be silently struggling with the same issues. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you can continue learning how to take control of your health naturally and confidently. Because now you know the truth. The sugar that hides in your food can slowly change the way your body feels and functions. But with the right awareness and action, you can reclaim your vitality and move forward with clarity, energy, and purpose.